Hey! Oh, wow, what a day. There's a lot happening today. It's all exciting stuff. Now, the idea is that I go live here first. Then, after that, it goes live on How to Be Brilliant. And then it goes live on Instagram. I don't know. Let's see if it's all working. Who can tell? Right. Lots of things happening. I'm doing a new thing today, doing a brand new thing called Ask, where you can ask me stuff. So we'll have a little look at that in a second and see what's going to happen there. That's fun. If this all works today, it's an absolute miracle. I'm streaming to 6 places simultaneously. 6 places all at once. Right. Let's hit the button and then see if it works. Oh, I've got a big announcement too. All right, here we go. Gosh, I should always have this bit ready. Hey.
It's the start of the week. Grab your coffee cups. It's Magic Monday Live.
Magic Monday live on Monday, the 9th of September, a day I will remember for a long, long time. Do you remember the 9th day of September? Yes, I do. I'm going to tell you my news now, or should I tell you at the end? I'll tell you at the end, okay? Let's just crack on now, and I will tell you the exciting news that's happening in the Heppel household. Oh, by the way, I'm just double checking that I'm definitely broadcasting on I think I am. I think I'm broadcasting everywhere. I'm over it already. So here's what I'm doing today. I've started a new feature called Ask. And the idea with Ask is that you ask me questions and I answer them. And to make sure I had a few, I put a post up yesterday and said, any questions that you might have, just ask. And I'll do a little bit of research. I'll find out. If I don't know the answer, I'll do deeper research. You can pretty much ask anything at all, and I will answer it. So I've got my first batch here. I know for a fact I will not get through them all today. So if you have asked a question online, I haven't answered it, I will get to it either next week or the week after. I promise you, I'm going to answer them all. But I'm going to kick right off straight away with the brilliant Sally Betts. Sally Betts writes in and asks, how do you switch off your brain when something is on your mind and is becoming all-consuming, whether an idea or a worry? That is a brilliant question because everybody has that. And the answer is you can't switch it off. You cannot switch your brain off. It's just whirring away all the time. But what you can do is direct thought. And this would be my suggestion, Sally. If you have an all-encompassing thought, something that's just there all the time, I would, if I were you, I'm not you, but if I were you, I would think, okay, first of all, I'm going to accept the thought. So step one, I accept this thought. You almost thank your brain for it. Thanks very much for putting this into my head right now. Appreciate that. I appreciate that it's coming along. It's an idea. It's a concept. It's whatever's going on. Thank your brain for it. Second thing is to say, I'm going to put you over here for now. And what I do is I have a physical place where I put thoughts in my mind, not a real physical place, in my mind, a physical place. So I put that and say, I'm going to come to you later. The next thing is replace it with something else. So here's the classic one when you're trying to go off to sleep and you've got stuff going round and round and round. I have a fiction story that I tell myself instead of having that thought. So I will have this story that I know very well in my head, and I start to tell that story and I go through it. And usually it's enough because it's fiction and it's dramatic and whatever to remove the thought that was the spinning round and round thought. So 3 steps. Number 1, you can't stop thinking about stuff. if you can't switch off your brain. Wouldn't it be great if you could switch off your brain? Secondly, thank your brain for the thought. Thirdly, put it somewhere else. Fourth thing, replay something in your mind that is very different from the thought. So that's why I use a fiction story and see if that works instead. I hope that helps. Number 2, Richard Ailing asks, do you feel AI will motivate or demotivate human creative effort? Now, I love the wording of this question, because he's not saying, do you think AI is going to replace people or whatever? Because obviously it's going to. What he asks for is whether it will motivate or demotivate, great choices of words, human creative effort. So I thought about this a lot last night. And I did, of course, ask Brilliant GPT. I asked my Brilliant AI what it thought, and it did a good answer. It was undoubtedly a good answer, which has formed part of my answer. But the big thing is this: will it demotivate it? Yes, if you try to replace creative thinking, it will demotivate it. And the reason it will demotivate it is because it's not as good. I did my test in August where I asked Brilliant AI to write 5 newsletters and send them out without me seeing them. And the feedback was pretty much the same. Good ideas, no creativity or little creativity. The story wasn't there. The information that makes you want to find out the facts wasn't there. Just lists of facts are fine. They're great. But what people really want more than anything, I believe, is a human connection to something that they can also have, that they are familiar with, especially when you write a newsletter. So that's why I like to start off a newsletter by writing about something that people either didn't know but would find interesting, or already know and have experienced. And that's, I think, is the real key. So do you think AI will motivate or demotivate human creative effort? I think it will demotivate people who haven't thought about, who would use it instead of thinking. That's what I mean to say. The people who use it to enhance their thinking will be massively motivated by using AI. That's what I find anyway. Thank you for that, Richard. That was great. Question number 3. This is a Write That Book question. Karen Hedges. Why am I getting pings? I have no idea why I'm getting pings. I'm just going to quit that one and quit that one in case it's those. Infuriating when that happens. Well, anyway. Question number 3. Karen Hedges. What do I do even if a self-publishing company hasn't replied to my proposal letter? You thank the Lord. That's what you do. Because if they can't even reply to a proposal letter, then it's pinging away again. Why is it pinging away? I don't know. I'm sorry. I don't know if you can even hear the pings. That. What is happening? I don't know why it's pinging. I'm quitting absolutely everything now. See if I can get shot of stuff. Right. So you thank the Lord that your that company hasn't responded, because if it had and they were dreadful, then that would be awful. The fact that they haven't means that you don't have to work with them. And here's the thing: you don't have to work with them, right? You don't have to work with them. As he says, as he scans around trying to find out what the heck is ping, ping, ping in here. I've got no idea. I'm going to leave it. All right. How do you stop getting distracted whilst you're doing your Magic Mondays, Michael? You don't. You get distracted all the time by stuff. So, Jan, sorry, not Jan. My apologies. Karen, what do you do if a self-publishing company hasn't replied to your proposal letter? You'd say thank you, because you don't need a self-publishing company. You can do it all yourself. That's why it's called self-publishing. So you see that book there? Write That Book? That has all the information. It has all the knowledge. You can go to writethatbook.co.uk, and there's about 6 or 7 copies left of the hardback. I'll order one, and I will send you a signed one with some additional notes and pointers in it as well, if you would like. Also, here's the key message. Here's the key message. It's never been easier. It has never been easier. I was talking to somebody on Friday, and he's quite a well-known person. He's you could say probably a minor celebrity. He's looking to write his autobiography at the moment, and he said straight away to me, he goes, Michael, I am not going to go to a mainstream publisher. I've already been offered deals for my autobiography. He said, but I just know I would do most of the work myself when it comes to marketing and promotion. So I'm going to self-publish. What do you think? And I said, I think that is brilliant. That is absolutely amazing. And so I've sent him, I said, I'll send you a copy of Write That Book. And he went, don't, I won't read it. So I'll send you a copy of the audio instead. So he's getting the audio so you can listen to it rather than read it. But yeah, the answer is that if somebody hasn't responded to your replied to your proposal letter and it's a self-publishing company, great. A lot of publishers don't respond either. Sometimes people are just busy. Sometimes it's because they don't know what to say. Right, let's do a couple more and I'm off to tell you my bit of news. Number 4, Joanne Nuttall. Now, Joanne sent me 4 questions. What's the best way to build and maintain motivation? What's the best way to avoid procrastination? How can you set a compelling goal? But the one that I want to answer is, how can I stop my cat from shouting at me at 4 a.m.? Well, cats are creatures of habit, but they can't tell the time. So if something would normally happen at 4 a.m., the trick is to move it on by half an hour. So if normally they would get up and you would feed them to shut them up or something, make it an extra half an hour before you would feed them. Now, you've got to have that bit of whining or whatever going on for a little bit, but it's like teaching kids to go to bed. You have to allow a little bit of whining. That thing where, it's awful, isn't it? If your baby's crying and then you're desperate to go upstairs, but you've got to give it an extra couple of minutes just so that they can, get used to being in their cot and get used to going off to sleep on their own and stuff like that. It's horrible, but cats are similar. You've got to do the same thing with cats. Now, remember, cats don't have owners. Cats own you. So the discipline here, Joe, is to make sure that you are not going to be owned by your cat. Other things you can do, set up a little thing where you have one of those timers that opens up some cat treats to 4 o'clock in the morning. So it goes ping and the little thing pops open, and at 4 o'clock it gets some treats, which might put them off wanting to wake you up. And then also cat toys. Cat toys are a great invention unless it's on a wooden floor. And it's one of those things where the cat goes spinning around clippity clop all the time. Thank you. That was Joanne. Question number 4. Question number 5. How do you avoid burnout? I keep throwing myself. This is from Kevin Appleby, by the way. How do you avoid burnout? I keep throwing myself into stuff, massive action projects, etc. But while I achieve stuff, one result is constant. I end up with burnout repeatedly. So here's the thing. If you're doing this repeatedly, Kevin, what's that a definition of? You do the same stuff and you maybe expect different results. That I think, did they say that was madness? I don't know. But anyway, I want to give you some advice. So I would suggest that you create a massive action project. And the massive action project is how not to have burnout with massive action projects. I know that seems like a bit of a strange sort of juxtaposition to be in, but that's what I would do. I would just, first of all, number 1, find somebody else who does it and model them. Number 2, I would delete some stuff out of your life. Get rid of some unnecessary things. Ask yourself the question, do I really need to do this? And if not, delete it. Number 3, I would schedule me time. And that means in your diary, scheduled me time. When I wrote my book, How to Save an Hour Every Day, one of the techniques in there that people seem to really love is me, key, and stuff days. Me days are the most important. So yesterday I had a me day, a whole Sunday, no work, nothing at all, right? The only time I did any work was a little bit of leisure stuff where I went onto Facebook and asked the question. That was it. But no sitting down to write, nothing like that. Now, normally I would do something on a Sunday. I have this thing, Great Week Start on Sunday, but we had a big weekend and we had loads of stuff happening. I just thought I just need a chill day. And I did stuff like watched a James Bond film. I put in telly time into my diary. I watched James Bond. Piers, not was it with the Piers? Yeah, I think was it Piers Brosnan, one of those ones. Dreadful, but brilliant at the same time. And watched a couple of Father Browns, and then Antiques Roadshow, and then Ramesh Ranganation's thing about Jimi Hendrix. That was it. Perfect. Then off to bed, and then this morning woke up with some news, which I'm going to share with you in a second. So Kevin, the secret with this is schedule in relaxation time. Take out stuff that you don't need. Schedule in some time for proper quality recovery time. Hope that helps. Okay. All right. Which one am I going to do next? Right, Angie. Oh, here we are. Angie Vale. What made you start How to Be Brilliant? The group How to Be Brilliant. Hopefully, I'm broadcasting it to How to Be Brilliant. I don't know these days. I don't know until the end if I'm actually broadcasting or not. What made me start it? Well, first of all, it was this idea of where can people meet? I love communities. I think communities are great. And the reason that I chose to do it on Facebook and to do it as a Facebook group is familiarity. People love familiarity. If you try and change something completely, if I set up a complete new network, so there's loads of other places you can do these groups online, but familiarity is the thing. And because more people were using Facebook than anything else, I chose to set it up there. So it was about community. And now I established How to Be Brilliant. I think it was in the January of 2020. I've done a couple of other things online in Facebook, but not a proper group. And I started it then. And then what happened very quickly, as you know, is in 2020, the pandemic came along and we went from having a membership of around about 200 people to a couple of thousand in a few weeks. And people were talking about How to Be Brilliant as being this place that was a beacon of positivity. And so I thought, right, okay, if I'm going to have something that's a beacon of positivity, I need to be the beacon in the beacon. So I'm going to make sure that I keep on being positive in there. I've got some plans for How to Be Brilliant, actually, for our Facebook group, because I think it needs a bit of a shake up. So I'm going to be doing some stuff in there in the very near future too. Right, I've got a whole bunch more. I've got Sue Humble, Rachel Woodward Carrick asked a brilliant one. I've also got Andrew Bettany has a great question. John Murphy's got a great question. I'm going to come to these and many others in the coming weeks, but I wanted to tell you a little announcement. So last night at 5 a.m., the beautiful, I get a little bit emotional at this, the beautiful Rosanna Elizabeth was born. Yes, we have another granddaughter. Hooray! Actually, I can do this. I can do one of these. Hang on. We have another granddaughter. Yay! I don't know why I'm doing all that celebration, because it wasn't me who did any of the work other than being a grandfather. Congratulations to Sarah and to Michael for that's our Sarah daughter-in-law, not Sarah daughter. We've got lots of Sarahs, lots of Michaels in our family, and to our Michael. And well done, baby Rosanna, for appearing a week early, just to keep everybody on their toes. Little Ella Grace is absolutely thrilled. She's going to be the best ever big sister. There's no doubt at all about that. But yes, it has happened. We have another granddaughter as of 5 o'clock this morning. Hooray! Let's have a quick little look. Right, okay. How do you ignore pings whilst doing a live? I don't, Angie. Sorry. Right. Anyway, good news is we do seem to be broadcasting today. I think we've broadcast everywhere. I think it's all worked. Thanks very much for watching. I will be back next Monday with more Ask. So I am determined to make this a positive feature. If you have questions, the best thing to do is to email them to hello@michaelheppel.com or ask me a question on any of the social things that we have. And I'm going to do them on Mondays for a few weeks and share a bit of knowledge and answer a few questions. All right, I've got to go and do some stuff. And then later on, I've got to go and do a visit to see our new granddaughter. Wahey! Bye!